wonderful people. How are you doing? Please say hi in the comment section and let me know where you are joining me from. Hi everyone, my name is Flora Daisy. I am a digital accessibility expert and founder at Linoratic. Linoratic has simply the value and mission to help tech leaders as well as tech professionals create more inclusive and accessible experiences in the digital world. Indeed, we're helping with website applications and digital documents. But enough about me. Let me just self-describe myself because in the audience, sometimes we have people with low vision or people who are blind. So today I have long braids. I'm a Black woman. I am always smiling. You probably can tell in my voice. And I think that sometimes self-describing is actually a good thing because we always change, and sometimes with the change can be, different information that can be conveyed through different change. That's about it. But today, I don't want to talk about change in that sense. I want to talk to you about accessibility, and I have, oh my goodness. Okay, let me tell you something quickly. As an expert in accessibility, at some point I jumped into entrepreneurship and I wanted to create my own website so I can start serving clients out there. Guess what? Many platforms were not accessible. And oh gosh, I pulled my hair off almost. But today I have an incredible person joining me, and she is going to tell us why her company, which is creating and helping people create websites, care about inclusion and accessibility. Oh my goodness. If you are joining me at any point in time, please don't be shy. Say hi in the comment section. I host this show every Friday. So please join always and share if you're hearing something that you like. Also react. We will take thumbs up, like anything. So you know what? Let me welcome Crystal Carter here. Hi, Crystal. Let me see. Where is she?
Hi
Yes.
there. Hello,
Hi,
Flora. Thank you so
Crystal.
much for having me.
I am so thrilled that you are here. You know what? I was telling the audience that I had a lot of challenges finding a platform that allowed me to quickly create websites, and that platform needed to be inclusive and accessible. The drag and drop, the facility of just putting your services, your products out there, but with a platform which care to serve everyone. So today is a fantastic day to hear you telling us why Wix, which is an incredible platform, cares about accessibility. But before we get to that, I really want you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell them what you're doing.
Okay. So I really liked your description for people who are listening. So I guess for anyone who's listening, I am a Black American woman. I look just like Beyonce. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I don't. I wish I did. And I am sitting in my office, and I have a tree behind me and some lighting. And I'm really pleased to be here. I have been working in digital marketing for my entire career. And I've been working with digital marketing clients the whole time, and I've worked with lots of different clients as a freelancer. I've worked in house. I've worked at agencies. I'm now working at Wix as the head of SEO communications. During that time, I have worked with on projects for accessibility. I've also been someone who's been tasked with making websites more accessible from a sort of top level point of view, not to the level that you work at, Flora, but from a top level point of view. And also I'm a part of the Wix SEO team, and we spend a lot of time in making accessibility accessible. We recently brought accessibility into the fold of the SEO team. So we have been adding in more features to make accessibility more accessible to people and make website accessibility more accessible to people. So a lot of SEOs there's a lot of crossover between SEO and accessibility. Header tags, for instance, heading tags on blogs, for instance, are an accessibility tool. They are also an SEO tool. alt text for images are something that are used for SEO. They're also used for accessibility. So there's a lot of crossover there, and there's a lot of great business value and also human value, of course, to making websites more accessible.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. You know what, guys? I love when people are talking like that. That's just music to my ears. They care, and that's really good. So I see someone drop the comment. Please, guys, don't feel shy. If you have any question at any point in time, put it in a comment. Trust me, we can see that live, and we will answer your question. If you have any thought or you want to just validate what you've heard, again, just share with us in the comment section. I see Chris. Chris said, "Hi from Montreal squad here. Hey, people from Montreal. Hi, Chris. Thanks for organizing another session, Flora. Oh, I'm so happy to do that. You know what? These sessions are made for you guys because sometimes, Crystal, you probably will agree with me. We learn only oftentimes within the network, the circle that we get exposed to. But when we have session like that that goes viral and live, it gives another perspective, opportunity for people to hear from different people, from different expertise, and so much more. So, oh my goodness, thank you so much, Chris. I have a question for you, Crystal. Oh, you know me. I'm gonna ask the question. But as I said, you and we spoke before. I think that many people feel like accessibility, inclusion, it has just to do with the technical part and the policies. But you told me a story that did strike me. Can you share that story with the audience? Because I don't think accessibility is all about just technical, it's just a human experience. And you spoke about options, having options to help everyone feel included, appreciated, respected, and probably so much more.
I think that one of the things that's really important to keep in mind when we're thinking about accessibility is the actual lived experience of feeling like you can't access something. And I think that even if you are somebody who wouldn't necessarily consider themselves to have a disability, would necessarily think that you needed accessible things, there are always times in life where sometimes you're not able to access something, and it could be, for instance, I recently started wearing glasses during the pandemic. I lots of screen time, and I've recently started reading glasses and needing to wear glasses. And so now when I forget to wear my glasses, I am very aware that oh no, it's too small, that's too small for me to read. And if I don't have the option to make the text bigger, for instance, that I find really stressful. And I think that there are some people who have this in their daily lives all the time with certain things. I certainly find this, and this is something else, at a restaurant. I am somebody who has dietary considerations, and I don't mind if a restaurant doesn't have stuff that's for me, for instance. But what I don't like is when they don't tell me the options, when they don't give me enough information to make an intelligent decision. So there are some restaurants who are really great at this, and I'm aware that this is like lowercase accessibility. But I think that there are some restaurants that are very good with it, and they've got an iPad and you can filter everything. They've got the menu fully online. They've got the menu on paper. They've got lots of they've got lots of indicators on the menu of like, this is suitable for this diet, this is suitable for that diet. They ask everyone as soon as they come in, do you have any dietary considerations that we should be aware of? And it's just built into their ecosystem. And so when somebody is in that space, they don't feel awkward asking for assistance because they know that the whole place is ready for them and is ready to access, to be accessible for them. And I think that that's the same with lots of other experiences as well. And I think that when you start paying attention to those times when you feel like you're not able to access something, it makes you more aware of other things. I recently, between the last time that we spoke and now, ran into a family member who had broken their leg on a vacation, and they came back and they had to go to school, and they had to go to school, and they had never considered but they've only just realized now that the school's completely inaccessible for someone in a wheelchair
Oh,
because they had to use a wheelchair, and they were realizing, they were like, we couldn't possibly. And she could, and the mom who was looking after this person was saying, it's really difficult for me to get into school. It's really difficult for me to park. People are parking in the wrong places. And this is somebody, this is exactly what I mean. Like, when we go around our daily lives, we're not thinking to ourselves, we want to exclude people. A lot of, people aren't actively thinking that, but a lot of times you don't have the firsthand experience of being excluded to lean on. So it's really, really important to, when you're thinking about making your website accessible, your business accessible, your web streaming event accessible, to consider, what to try to think about being in that, like, being in those shoes, to try to think about thinking about it from a firsthand experience, because I think that will give you some real insight into it. I know somebody, Miracle Idameti Archibong, she's an accessibility expert, and she's spoken about this as well, where, she says, go to your website and use a screen reader to navigate your website. It's really important for you to actually do that and see how accessible or inaccessible it is. Because just like when I go to a restaurant, right? If I go to a restaurant and I can't figure out what's going on with the menu, I can't figure out whether or not I can eat it, can't figure out da da da. That's a deal breaker for me. Like, I'm not going back, and I'm not taking my family there. I'm not going there for my birthday.
yeah,
I'm not going there for the anniversary parties. None of that.
yeah,
Um, but if I know that, the place that I know has things for everyone, right? Has things for somebody I know who has an allergy to shellfish, and somebody I know who has an allergy to dairy, and somebody who's that place, I'll be like, great, we can go there because I know I can take anyone there, and I can invite anyone there because they're ready for that. Similarly, if your website is not accessible via a screen reader, is not accessible for somebody who has poor eyesight because they've been staring at a screen too long, is not accessible with, like, audio tools as well. I know a lot of people are putting, listen to this blog on the top of their blogs, including Google recently added that to a lot of their marketing blogs. If you're not adding that onto there, then that's going to be a deal breaker for some people. And not only will they not come to your website, but they won't send other people to your website either. So it's really important to think about that firsthand experience and how that makes people consider your business overall.
oh, I love it. I mean, Crystal, you just dropped bombs after bombs after bombs. I mean, what one thing you said that is beautiful is definitely lived experience.
Yes.
Lived experience is so important. I want to ask the audience, what do you think? Whenever you create inclusive and accessible solutions or product, do you think that we should definitely always bring people with lived experience to share feedback or to provide any advisory, solution? What do you think? I really think that, for me personally, I think it's important. But I know
Yeah.
sometimes businesses feel like budget. We may not have the budget for that. And if we bring someone, we may not fully understand what they want. But are you not trying to create inclusive experiences?
Right.
That start from there. There
Right.
is no, oh, we don't know, but that's the opportunity to know something.
Right.
Because I heard someone said, uh, at the leader stage or with tech professional, we can all try to do something great. But if there is no diversity at the table, we are always limited to our own bias, our own experiences, and so much more. So,
Right.
having someone else with a different experience sharing at that same table will actually open up sometimes the eye, because you don't know what you don't know until
Right.
someone who knows it or who lived it bring it to your attention, and you're like, oh wow. And you said it with the story about one of your loved one family member who was just going to school without any trouble, didn't even know that there were limitations in place until they had a temporary disability. They broke their leg, and now they're using a wheelchair, and now switch in perspective, oh, I cannot do that. And what is happening? The
Right.
parent is also going through the same challenge as the
Right.
child. sometimes when I speak to people, they think that accessibility, disability is just affecting one person. But no, it's an entire family, it's a network, it's friendship, it's even organizations. Because some organization, when they have to take, like you said, a group of people to the restaurant, and one of the people is not able to enter the restaurant because of there's no rent or something, guess what? They're not going to your business, they're going elsewhere. And I
Right.
think that's a fair choice for everyone. So really, inclusion and accessibility help everyone. I want to read something that I think, oh, Chris shared something. He said, absolutely, yes. Why would we not want to be involved in feedback loops when they lead to improvement? Oh, yes. Not only improvement, Chris, innovation. Because sometimes things are not just working as it is. It's not about improving, it's about innovating, opening a new ways of serving people. I mean, we can talk about this all day. But you know what, Crystal? I have another question for you, my friend. Thank you, Chris, for sharing. Please, if you're joining again, drop your comment. If you like what you're hearing, thumbs up, love, whatever you have, we will take it. So the question here, Crystal, is you told me about accessibility wizard at Wix, and I said, what? An accessibility wizard? I mean, for me, a wizard is already a powerful character which is supposed to help you do something amazing in an easy way. But tell me more about the accessibility wizard at Wix.
So the accessibility wizard is a tool that was put together by the team at Wix about 3 years ago. We're celebrating the third birthday of the accessibility wizard this year, and it is something, as I said, that is designed to make accessibility more accessible for web users. So we have over 250 web users around the world, and we want to make sure that everybody has the ability to make their website accessible for all of their users. And we think that it shouldn't be that it's only something that specialists have access to. It's only something that people who have special web crawlers have access to. It should be something that's really easy to use. And it's literally with the click of a button, you can get your full website reviewed, and it will check you out. I literally ran mine earlier before the session started, and it tells you things like site navigation. Like it says that I should add a search bar to my site navigation. And like that's really important, because not everybody has, not, especially if you're on a screen reader, you don't have time to be trawling through every single page on the website. It says that it's worth adding this, because this will give you more information. Similarly, it says that on another page, that I haven't got a main, which, and I'm really showing myself up here, but this is worth doing anyway. But it says that I need to add in a main heading, for instance, and this is choose the text element that best describes what the page is about. And you should add a main heading there. And the thing about that is that again, this is useful. This is useful for accessibility, for screen readers, for other things like that. But it's also useful for Google, because Google is also trying to access your site in lots of different ways. It's also useful for users. If I go onto a website and there's just a giant, like for all users, if I go onto a website and there's just a giant wall of text, it's really difficult for me to navigate and to understand what it is I'm looking at. So this stuff is really, really, really useful. And we have, tools and tips that go along it. And we also highlight it within the Wix SEO setup checklist, which is an ongoing checklist, and it's something that you can add when you first set up the website. It's also something that grows with you as well. So as you add things, it will allow you to check things. We also have the ability to update the alt text on your images. And internally, we found that a lot of people weren't adding alt text to their images. They just weren't doing it. It became and really within the builder, we have a really easy a WYSIWYG drop and drag builder. It's really, really accessible with a lowercase a. And what we were finding was that there was a few steps. So people had to click, and then they'd have to click again and to enter the thing. And now we have the ability, so where we can flag and say, you need to add alt text to your image. Here are all the images you need to add alt text to, and then you can just fill them in like in a big line. And it's something, and what we've seen is that we've seen a massive uptick in people adding their alt text to the images. We've also seen a reduction in people going, what is alt text? I don't understand. Because really, like I said, nobody's going around in their daily lives being like, I want to exclude everybody. Nobody's thinking that. We need to give people the tools to facilitate that. And that's something that's been really important for our site. And this is important for us for the users of our users. But also it's important because one of the things that we try to do as a team is we try to make lots of the web accessible to folks. So we try to make sure that it's easy for, if somebody wants to make a website, they can make a website on Wix, and they can get that up and running. They can get that up and running smoothly. And not only that, but all of the security's taken care of, and all of the infrastructure and all of the servers are all covered. All of that sort of stuff is really, really easy to access and really straightforward for you. But I think that we also want to make sure that people are compliant, and what we don't want is that people who get our products aren't compliant. So what we do is we have this accessibility product built into the tools so that people are compliant with different things. Now there's new legislation coming in from the EU, and there's also new legislation coming in from California regarding accessibility, and we're trying to make sure that our websites are ready in time for that. We've done this before with GDPR, which was an EU legislation around privacy, and we made sure that basically every Wix website was compliant with that. So we have all of the tools to make sure that that's compliant. And we on the website, when people are signing up for their cookie, signing up, when they say, do you want to accept these cookies, and you're like, yes.
Oh yes, that's a privacy thing. I love that. You know what? I love what I'm hearing, because I think that you guys have been working hard behind the scene to actually make things easy for freelancer who want to create a website, for organizations who want to create a website using your platform, for anybody, because you are trying to, at the forefront, think about everything that will make this task easy. The more they create inclusive experiences on the website, the more they can serve and give product or information to everyone without really creating any limitation. I like these initiatives. Of course, I know this is a big work, and I would like to say kudos to that. I like the fact that you were also transparent and you shoot yourself in the foot. You said, hey, listen, here's what I saw already, but I know it's here. But but that's what we want. I'm telling you, Crystal, people are so tired of the vendors that say, hey, yes, we are accessible. Let's just check this box and just go.
I should say, when I checked my website, that was my website. That wasn't the Wix website. I wasn't checking the Wix website. I was checking my own little website on the side.
I love it. I love it. You've been transparent. It's really, I shoot myself from time to time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say that. But I say it. Why? Because I think it's important. We want to be real, and let's just be real. So I really appreciate that. The one question that I want to ask you before time goes so fast, like we're almost at the end of the session. I can't believe that. Again, people, if you have any question, just let us know. If you feel like you're hearing something that is music to your ears, or you didn't know about it, a thumbs up or a love would be much appreciated. Crystal, you spoke about accessibility help. Can you expand on that?
Accessibility help?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that it's really important to make sure that people know where to get support. And both from when you're creating a tool for accessibility, but also that people within, like people that are trying to access your services, know where to get support. So one of the things that we encourage people to have on their website is we say you should have an accessibility statement. That's something that we encourage people to have on their website. And that's something that, as somebody who is trying to navigate the web, and also when people are trying to navigate the world, it's really, really important, because you don't always necessarily think of every eventuality. Every human being on earth is unique, and people may have different considerations, but it's really important to be able to have a point of contact that someone can find in order to get support. It's also useful to make sure that they know how to get support, and in lots of different ways. So It may be that somebody wants to, what maybe that somebody would rather have a call. It may be that somebody would rather have somebody meet them at the venue. If you have like a live in-person venue, it may be that someone might want to have an email. And I think there's also a lot of neurodivergent people who would like to have limited human contact, limited direct contact. So if they have the ability to maybe, take a virtual tour, for instance, of the building before they arrive, that can be really, really useful. If they know all of that sort of stuff, that's really, really helpful. And I think that you don't want to leave people without an option. I mean, I know, and I know I've mentioned it a few times, but like I've been to a restaurant before where like, and with my dietary things, and I know that that's not a big deal accessibility challenge, but I've been there before, and they said, oh, we have lots of vegan options, and all over the signs all said it, and then I went to order the vegan option, and they said, oh, we're out. But then they didn't say anything else. I was like, what else do you have? They were like, nothing. And I was like, what do you mean nothing? Like, it's one thing if people aren't able to help you with the situation, but I think it's important to show willing. So let's say somebody comes to your website and says, I'm not able to access this thing. Can you send it to me in another way?
Yeah.
Yes. Like if you have an accessibility statement that says, if you have any challenges, please contact us here, then whatever challenges they have, you can help them get around them. But it's really important to give people options. We're all doing our best. And so if you don't think of every eventuality, that's
Yeah.
okay. But if you have an option for somebody to contact you to speak to them about what they need, then that's really, really useful.
Uh,
We had somebody who was trying to talk to us about an event, and they said, is it accessible via wheelchair? And I said, yes, it is accessible via wheelchair. And they said, do you have any abilities to, or can you recommend any hotels nearby? And I said, I don't have firsthand experience of the hotels nearby. However, I did find this website that is specifically for people who have wheelchairs, and they have a list of hotels, and they recommend these. And
ooh,
that's saying, I don't have the answer, but I am helping. And I
yes.
think that that's really important to be able to help. Um,
Definitely, definitely. I think that, the willingness and also being okay to say we're still working on things, it's important. Why will you say you have something and then when someone who might actually need that something is not provided with that something? That's not good. And I remember even in one of your story with the restaurant, you said, oh, I'm vegan. And they said, oh, we have a vegan menu. And they brought something so old and nasty and brought it to the table in front of everyone. It was much voluminous than the regular menu. It was, oh, it wasn't a great experience. When I hear you say that, I was like, oh my goodness. And that's what happens sometimes with people with disability. They might go to places or they might try to order something with their friends, and they are like, no, you cannot because we have so many problems for you. Just stay on the side. It's not a good experience.
yeah.
I know that definitely having the help assistance will help. But I mean, a lot of lawsuits are happening because people are not being heard. If you have a proper channel for help and feedback, guess what? People will be heard because you are working on it, and let them know. I mean, it might not be something you can resolve right away, but let them know that this is something we're working on and get back to them. I mean, get back to them. I see Chris just shared something here. Before he said, we really are, and I think he was referencing to some of the talk we said before. And he said again, or you order vegan expecting a meal and end up with a plate of sliced tomatoes, just one ingredient with nothing on them. What?
I
This is
think
not fair.
And I think this speaks to, I mentioned it just because it's a lived experience that I have, but I think also, like, there are lots of times where there are lots of places that make a concerted effort to make sure that people with different abilities have a great experience. I go to a lot of theater, and there are relaxed performances that are specifically designed for people who maybe might find it a little bit challenging to sit in one place and in it for hours and hours, and that sort of thing. And it's so nice to be able to have a space that's like that, that's welcoming, and the staff there are prepared for if they're prepared, they're knowledgeable, they know how to support folks in that space. And I think that's providing essentially the same experience for everyone else as for people who need additional assistance. And I think that's what you want. You want to be able to provide as good an experience for everyone, across the board, not something that's less good,
No,
for
no, that's
people with
good.
different
And not
needs.
an afterthought as well, right? Something that is thought about just at the last minute is not going to help. I like what you're sharing, Crystal. I mean, we are at the end of the session, and really, I see Ariel just share something. He said, yes, we would love to have the accessibility statement, but please don't put it at the bottom somewhere where nobody goes there, nobody cares about that. At the end of the page footer, except people who want to check the social media of the business or whatever. Uh, he is actually advising to put it at the beginning where we have the skip link or somewhere at the top. Actually, Ariel is a person who's blind, but he's also a developer and a coder. I love Ariel. He's just an incredible person. So please listen to what he has to share as well. That might help your company. But thank you so much, Ariel, for sharing. Crystal, oh my goodness, love, 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 and appreciate you. Where can people connect with you? How, you know,
Yes. So I speak at lots of events. So keep an eye out for those. But I also am online on Twitter. I have a website which I need to finish my accessibility wizard and fix. I'm currently in the process of building a new one, so I will take all of that into mind. But also, I'm on Twitter X. And I'm on Instagram, and I have a TikTok with 200 very elite followers. We're an elite
we
group.
need to talk a little bit more. But you know what? Thank you so much. I would probably say just one last question. I mean, if people have to drop, I understand and I appreciate. If you want to stay for that last question, stay as well. Crystal, why is it important to have accessibility compliance on websites or on digital products? I want to hear your own perspective on that. I have been advocating for quite a long time, but it's good to hear someone else, like you are a head of SEO and communication at an incredible company. Why do you think is important?
I think that it makes you better. And
What?
I think it makes you better because you are using different tools to make your information heard, make your information more accessible and more relevant to more people. And a lot of times this may be people who have, additional needs, but this also makes it more accessible to everyone when you're doing that. And it will make you better because I mentioned somebody who had a temporary disability. I'm somebody who has a little bit of limited sight. If I have the ability to listen to an article, I regularly do. That's an accessibility tool, but that's also something that is better for me personally. And I think that what you see with people, the innovations that you see is in this space are driven by making information more accessible in different ways. Some people, will find, or some people are different kinds of learners. Some people are audio learners. Some people will learn from reading. Some people will learn from watching a video, that sort of thing as well. So if you are able to make the content of your site more accessible via different means, via different methods for different users, it will make you better as a team, both from an innovation point of view, but also from a user consideration point of view. It tells your users that you literally care about them, that you're making that effort, and building that into your team is something that will make your company better overall.
Yeah, you have it. Speaking the truth. And she's very transparent. So thank you so much, Crystal. I really love, I appreciate again your presence here. And I hope that the audience had a lot of information. They are happy with the clarity again. They are happy to hear that what you just shared align with everyone belief that accessibility empowers everyone. It empowers people with disabilities, but it also empowers people without disabilities, because guess what, we live in a world where temporary disability can happen because of illness, because of an accident, or maybe because we're just aging, period. All right. Have a wonderful Friday, everyone. And I will see you next Friday. Don't forget to tune in. Bye bye.